Hello, gang. Michael Daniels here on a Wednesday night doing our normal top contributor hangouts. I wanted to just quickly go over with you folks and just let you all know that, hey, listen, if you come back and watch this later, be sure and leave comments because even if you leave a comment later, I get an email saying, hey, you left a comment. So please do that. Please definitely leave some comments if you have any questions or things like that. And I'll make sure that our expert tonight, which is Peggy K, thank you for coming. I make sure that she will get that and I will send her an email with that information and she'll respond back in this community too. She does a really good job with that. She did that for me last time. She came back and answered right back in here. So if you have any of those questions, please do that. Leave your questions. All right, I'm going to quickly screen share my screen right here. This is the page. And I'm going to copy this link at the top and I'll paste it into the chat area in just a second. But this is the page where if you have a question about, as you can see, Chrome is the first one, YouTube, Gmail, any of these things, any Google products, these are the forums where you can come in and ask people, top contributors, who people just like you and I come in and we will answer your questions and try and help you out. We're people just like you and I. We're not paid by Google. This is what we do. We come in, we have a blast, and we just try and help people. And hopefully some of you, if you ever have a particular thing that you're just really good at, you can come in there and answer some questions and help people out just like we do. Now I'm going to quit screen sharing and move back into this. And Peggy, why don't you say hello to everyone tonight?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. I'm really excited about this because I've been using Blogger for probably 10 years. And I love it because it's really an easy platform to use to write. Basically, the advantage of using a blog instead of just posting on social media is that you can control the formatting and you can have longer form than you do if you just share a link on social media. And you can embed images and you can embed videos and you can do all kinds of great things. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Not just writing blog posts, but what you can do to insert media to enhance your blog post.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again, as usual, for coming and doing this, because as I was telling her in the green room beforehand, I was like, I just don't know this topic. I don't have a blog. I'm not a blogger. So I'm going to learn just along with you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask questions the whole time. I'll interrupt Peggy if I feel like it's pertinent to that point.
Yeah, any questions you guys have, I'll be happy to try and answer. And some of this, I will be posting tutorials on my blog over the next week or so. So I know a lot of times we cover a lot of territory, and so if you want to know more, you can view my blog or you can ask me.
Fantastic. All right.
So
fire away whenever you're ready.
All right. Can you see my screen okay?
I can actually, yes.
Excellent, excellent.
Now, let me just make a point to anyone out there, too. If you're viewing this, you have a viewer where the YouTube video is. You can go in the bottom right corner. There's a gear wheel, and you can adjust to 480, 1080, whatever. You can adjust those to make sure that you're seeing this as clear as we are. So I wanted to reiterate that to everyone. Just want to throw that out there. So fire away.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that when you are crafting your blog post, I'm going to assume that you're starting out with a blog and you have an idea of how to start a blog post. And you're in the Blogger post editor. And what you do is you type your text and then you can choose to insert different media. And the first thing I wanted to mention is kind of a fun, newer feature that allows you to insert special characters, symbols, and emoji. To do that, what you do is you click the icon that looks like a smiley face up on the toolbar above the post editor. And a window pops up. And what you see is a bunch of symbols. And you can pick a bunch of different things. You can pick, for example, African scripts. Whoops. on. And that lets you see Egyptian hieroglyphics, and you just click the one that you want to insert. But the thing that's really kind of fun is that you can draw a symbol and it will try and find it for you. So I'll show you my poor drawing skills here.
Actually, that's not too bad.
You can see that I am not an artist, but it did figure out, that's what I was going for, a raised hand emoji. So it finds the closest matches, and you can pick that, just click it, and it inserts it into your post. And you can leave that insert special characters window open while you're editing your post.
Oh, so the next time you can add it in, it's just quickly and easily right there for you, is what you're saying.
And
nice.
actually, what I use it for frequently is for characters that are not on my standard keyboard. So for example, if I want to have an E with an accent over the top, which is not in my standard keyboard, I can just draw that and then insert that into the text.
Nice, very nice.
So it's really comes in pretty handy. That's the first
so you could do
thing
that like with a copyright sign or something like that you're using, and you wanted to implement that. You could do that same thing, right?
Exactly. And it also lets you search by name. So you could search for copyright. You could search for Christmas. You can search for all kinds of things. So that's kind of a fun thing to start with.
That's really cool.
All right. So let's get a little bit more serious here. The thing that people usually insert in their blog posts is an image. And it's actually really, I think, a little bit important to insert at least one image in your blog post, because when you share a link to your post on social media, it always tries to retrieve an image from that post to display. And I think it's more eye-catching. So it doesn't have to be a photograph. It could be any kind of graphic you want. But I'm going to show you how to insert photos. It all works the same. And the first thing I wanted to mention is that the easiest way to insert an image that you have on your desktop computer is to simply drag and drop it into the post editor. I'm not going to show you that now. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But the Blogger post editor does support drag and drop of images. Say you don't want to do it that way, or you want to use another image. What you do is you go up to the toolbar, and there's an insert image icon that looks like a photo, and you just click that. And that brings up for inserting an image. The first option is to upload a file, and it will show you the images that you uploaded earlier within the same posting session. That's why you see an image there, because that's one I used earlier today. The second option you can use is from this blog. And what this does is show you all of the images that you have previously uploaded to your blog. So if you wanted to, say, have a graphic for a specific type of blog post, for example, you don't have to keep uploading it every time you post. You can just find it in your previously uploaded images for the blog.
Oh, that is very convenient. I like that a lot. Because I spend a lot of time doing that, redoing the same photo or something like that. So that's excellent, having that where you can. Is that searchable as well? Apparently, I would imagine, or is it something you just kind of scroll through?
I'm sorry. It's
is the image, like, if you, let's say I named that image, would it be searchable, or is it just?
This is not searchable. No.
Okay.
This just shows you them in chronological order. So if you have a lot of images on your blog, it may not be that helpful.
Okay, I got you.
And I'll note that at the top of this window, it says these images are also available to view and download in your Google Album archive. That is where your Blogger Blogs image album is, in the Google Album archive. And so if you ever need to access your images, you can go there. Now, the next option is from your Google Album archive. Now, the neat thing about this is that your Google Album archive is where all the images you've uploaded through Google are stored. So that includes the profile photos for your Google Plus profile. It includes your photos from posts, which is from your Google Plus posts.
Real quick question, just because I want to know personally, is this the one where you can go to your About Me page and it shows you these albums, and that's where you can get like your Hangout images and stuff like that too? Is that true? Is that right?
Exactly. That's exactly
Awesome.
it. So
Awesome.
you can actually, if you can see mine here, if I scroll down through my album archive, and you can see there's a Hangout images too. This is my test account, which is why the images are kind of silly. But
I love it.
so
I love it.
you should be able to access uploaded through Google by selecting the From Google Album Archive option.
That's really great. I like that a lot. I
It
wish
is.
more things did that. I wish more things did that actually, or had that option.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's really one of the advantages of using Blogger. If you're using the whole Google ecosystem, you have access to all that content right through automatically without having to fuss around with downloading images and then re-uploading them or anything like that. Okay, the next option is called From Your Phone, and it's kind of confusingly named because it's not necessarily images from your phone. What it is all the images that have been uploaded through Google Photos. Now, a lot of those images are going to be from your phone if you're using the automatic backup to Google Photos, but they aren't necessarily all from your phone. In this particular account, you can see I have artwork images uploaded. I uploaded those manually to Google Photos on the desktop computer. And unlike the Google Album Archive, which is organized by album, the From Your Phone images are organized by date. So you can scroll through all the images by date if you want to find a specific image. The next option, which I'm actually not going to click, is From Your Webcam. And this is kind of an old option, but what it does is access your computer's webcam and let you take a picture with it, which you can then insert in your blog. It uses, so you have to be using a web browser that supports Flash. It kind of makes my browser hang, which is why I'm not going to demonstrate it. And of course, you're already using my camera for the webinar here. And the last option is From a URL. And this is really handy if there is an image on another website and you don't want to have to download it and re-upload it, you can just do it by a link. And I have an example. So this is a public domain image from Wikimedia Commons, and you are responsible for making sure that any images that you insert, you have the rights to use. So what I wanted to note is that when you use the URL option, it has to be the URL of just the image itself. So this is actually a web page with the image on it. And
but I do notice it. I do notice it's a JPEG up there in the URL though. So
yeah,
that works, right?
that's some weird Wikimedia Commons thing. But
okay.
but you can tell it's a web page because it has all this other stuff on it. And so if you click, usually on Wikimedia Commons, you can just click the image and it gives you a page that's just the image. And then
just the image. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And often you can right click or alt click an image and copy the image URL that way. As long as the image is viewable online, that should work. So all you do is paste the URL and it will load a preview. If it's a URL that doesn't work, or if it's to a web page instead of an image, there will be an error code there. And all you need to do is then select the image, click the Add Selected, insert it in your blog post. Really easy to insert images. So that is the basics of inserting images. But one of the things that you can do is format the images so you can control the way it's laid out in the blog post and how it looks. My test post here doesn't really have much text, But what you can do is if you click the image, you will see some basic formatting options appear. You can select the size, small, medium, large, extra large, or the original size. So I can change this to large, for example, or I can make it small. And you can position it left, center, or right. You can add a caption. So that's just basic text that describes, well, it can be whatever you want. And if you click properties, you can add a title text and alt text to the image. And those options add text that is not visible to people who are viewing your post, but instead the alt text, for example, is what appears if the image can't load for some reason. It's like alternative text. And I believe that some readers, for people who have vision problems, they can't see the images, so the screen reader reads the alt text or the title text instead. So it's good to add text there so that there's something
kind
there.
of a cool feature, actually.
Yeah. So even if the image isn't visible, there's like a description of the text.
Okay, nice.
And
real quick, I want to throw this up there because Andrew brings up something that I thought he brings up a good point, and because you brought up a good point, he said, so glad you mentioned the public domain copyright thing, because too many people get caught in that trap. So, but go ahead, keep going. We're good.
I think it's easy for people to just assume that anything online is fair game, but that's not true, right? If it's an image that you created, you hold the copyright to that image. So what I usually do is either use my own images, or I use images that are specifically labeled for reuse. So either a public domain image or one that has a Creative Commons license that allows.
And you can search for those in Google too. Google will search those, and you can choose that as a choice.
Yeah, I think you can set filters in the image search results to do that. And so that's really important to do, because especially if it's something that's not really integral to your blog post, you don't want your blog post removed simply because you picked the first thing that you found.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Mark says something too here. He says, can you explain the difference between From Your Photos and the Photos app again? And he says, thanks so much.
Let me go back. Okay, so the options are phone. From Your Phone is images you've uploaded through Google Photos or automatic backup to Google, and those are organized by date. You select From Google Album Archive, that is showing all your albums, and that is going to include even the albums that are not shown in Google Photos. So that's Google Plus.
Right.
It includes Hangouts images. It includes your other Blogger blog images also.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so that is the difference there. The labels are a little bit, but it makes more sense once you try it with your own account, where you have an idea of what the different images are. So you say, oh yeah, okay, those are images that I backed up yesterday, sort of thing.
So Mark, let us know if that answers your question. Just if you just respond saying, yeah, that answered it, or if you need a little bit more detail, just let us know. I'll let you keep moving, keep rocking and rolling.
Okay.
And I'll let you know if he says anything. Actually, he said thank you, so I think you did answer it, so we're good.
So those are the basics, and I want to mention also that I think I want to really reiterate that the layout that you see here in the post editor is not exactly what you're going to see in the final blog post, because your blog has a template. I mean, that's one of the advantages of having your own blog. You can customize a template to make it look however you want. And that means that the final format is going to depend on how your template is configured. So if you want to know how your blog is actually going to look when it's published, you want to click the preview button up in the top right.
Okay, so let me just, here's my ignorance again to Blogger. This is kind of like a website, right? It's your like your theme for your website, except it's your theme for your blog. Is that correct?
That's exactly it. So
okay, good.
Blogger lets you have content. Each post is can be its own web page. And then what you can do is customize the template to make it look however you want. And I'm here using a pretty basic template offered by Blogger, but there are people who have really elaborate, really nice custom templates. And if you're really into it and you can learn the template coding language that Blogger uses and create your own templates even. So there's a lot of things you can do with it.
So you could in essence use
the preview,
your image, right? You could use one of your images if you knew how to do that, correct? As your
absolutely.
background. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you can have a header image. You can configure what shows in the sidebar. You can change the background image. You can change the font. You can see I've picked the lovely Comic Sans font for this blog, and just make things look the way you want them to look. But that means that when you're actually editing your blog post, you got to keep in mind that what you're seeing in the post editor is not exactly the way it's going to look in the final blog. So you need to check the preview to see how it's going to look.
I got you. Makes sense. Makes total sense. Because it's just giving you the basics, right? And here it's just giving you, hey, here's your image, here's your text, here's what you want to write about, da 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 da. And then over there is where it shows you how fancy it's going to be and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go the next step further, and I'm going to talk about how to insert videos into a blog post. And this is great if you have a YouTube channel, especially. You can have a blog that's sort of a companion to your YouTube channel if you want. So you can scroll down here. Insert a video. The easiest way to do that is to click the insert video icon. It looks like one of those sort of director's clapper things. And you have 4 options. You can upload a video from your desktop computer. Pretty self-explanatory. You can find a video on YouTube. Now this is actually a way to search YouTube for any video. So
now, would this be just your videos or anybody's video?
Everybody's videos. So you can see, if I search for Michael Daniels Hangout, that's what comes up. And so I can insert any of these videos in my blog, as long as the video has embedding enabled and set in your video settings if you are uploading videos to YouTube. So you probably won't have all of the music videos there, because I think a lot of the official music videos disable embedding.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
You can also, if you have a link to a YouTube video, you can do a search for the link and it should come up with the matching video. But I just wanted to mention, after you do the search results, you can click on it, a little preview of the video, just to make sure, whoops.
Sorry, we couldn't hear.
So you can see view of what it's going to be, and you can be sure then you're picking the correct video. So all you do is select the video that you want to embed, and then click the blue select button. Really easy. But even easier, if you have your own YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is on the same Google account as your Blogger account, you can access videos. And what that's doing is checking all the videos on the channel that's on the same Google account as your Blogger account. Now, you can see this is my test channel. And notice that it includes live streams. So I scheduled a Hangout on Air event for July 4th. And now when I come to the blog on the same Google account, there it is. If I click it, you can see it comes up and the preview says, watch the live stream in 166 days. So this is a way.
Really, really cool. I like that. So you can do your live stream from your blog channel.
That's right. So you can actually be promoting your live stream on your blog. It's actually scheduled to occur, and it can be embedded there, and people can just follow that link and watch the live stream right from your blog.
Very nice.
So it's really easy to do that. And again, the downside is that it's got to be the channel on the same Google account. So if you're using a channel that's using a business or other name, those aren't going to appear there. It's not perfect, but it is really handy if you use the same identity.
Just to know that that's an option, I think is just amazing. I think that's great. I mean, a possibility there, you know what I'm saying? I think that's great. Because you can, especially if you have something like that, you can always do it straight to whatever channel you're on and then transfer that over to your other one later. I mean, as a video, if you wanted to. I mean, you could do that to your brand page or something like that, what you're saying. So.
And so the last option is to get video from your phone. Now, again, this is videos that you have uploaded through Google Photos. And I want to have a caveat here is because I tested it when I was preparing for this, and the video that I inserted that way is just giving me an error. So I don't know if there's a problem with that particular video or if this isn't working properly. So at least in theory, you should be able to embed any video that you've uploaded through Google Photos. But for some reason, it wasn't working for me. And I just want to mention a little plug here for the Blogger Help Forum. If you try one of these things and it's not working or it's not working the way you expect, please come post a question in the Blogger Help Forum and and if we can't figure it out, we'll escalate it up to Blogger and hopefully it will get sorted out. So
I just put the link in there for the Blogger Help Forum as well.
Oh, great.
You bet. You bet.
Now, when you insert a video into your blog, it doesn't have the preset the way images do, but what you can do is just highlight the video and then use the formatting controls along top. So for example, you can switch it so that it's centered.
Oh, nice. So it just centers it on the page then. I got you. Nice.
Yeah. Mention one other way you can insert video. And this is actually a really powerful thing to do. You can get the embed code from YouTube directly. And the reason why that's powerful is that YouTube offers formatting options for the video. So if you're just inserting it using the insert video option on Blogger, you don't have easy way to format the size of the video player, for example. You can do that if you're comfortable editing the HTML, but most people aren't going to want to do that. So instead, actually, what I usually do is I go to the video watch page. And this is videos, but you can go to anyone's videos. And you click the share button, and then you click embed. And that's going to give you an embed code. And if you want to configure that, you then click show more. Right? So that gives you a preview of how it's going to look. And then if you scroll down, you can select the size of the player. You can turn on or off whether it shows suggested videos when the video is over. So if you don't want a bunch of other suggestions to pop up at the end of the video, you can turn on privacy enhanced mode, which I think does not set a cookie when people are watching the video. Those options. And all you do is change the features that you want, and then go back up and copy the embed code. And the next step, it's a little tricky. Insert the embedded video into your blog post. When you have the code like that, you have to switch to HTML. So in compose mode right now, I have to switch to HTML mode. And whoa, what you see is all this. That's the code behind the blog post. So the best thing you can do is figure out where you want to paste the video. And you can paste in the video first and then write all the text around it if you want. But here I'm going to, under where it says video, paste that in. And now when I switch back to compose mode, the video displays as embedded there. And the reason why learning how to do that is really powerful is that there are lots of media sites that offer embed code for videos and for images. So you can do the same thing by getting the embed code for a Facebook video or a Twitch video or a Twitter tweet or an Instagram post. Those all offer embed code. And all you need to do is switch to HTML mode and paste in that embed code, and it will then appear in your blog post. So that lets you insert almost anything.
I got to put this. I got to put this comment up real quick, just because you went into the coding end of it. So, Miss Sheila says, no, I won't be coding. Have friends do that.
I mean, I think that one of the things that's really
every time she
cool,
says that. So.
One of the things that's really neat about Blogger is that you can just use the basic options that are offered to you. Insert your images, type your text, and you don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to know any code. You don't have to view any HTML or anything like that. And out really great. But then when you're ready to take it sort of to the next level, you can do the more advanced embedding and formatting of your posts. So it gives you room to grow, sort of.
Well, and there are people out there that'll help you with that too. I mean, if you have issues with it or something like that, I'm sure there's people out there that can help you with that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to mention one more option with the embedding. And one thing that is missing from Blogger, there's no built-in slideshow option. There used to be, but it's been retired. So as an alternative, one thing you can do is create your own slideshow as a presentation in Google Slides. The last one that I've made just for demonstration purposes. You can have each slide be a full screen image. You can add text. You can add all kinds of things. Then when you're ready.
Oh, nice. So you're doing a Google slide.
This is Google Slides, yes.
Nice.
And this also works with spreadsheets and Google Docs. You can embed all the different kinds of Google file formats if you want.
What a cool idea. That's great.
Yeah. And so if you want to embed a slideshow or other document in your blog post, all you need to do is open up your completed slideshow, go up to the File menu, and select Publish to the Web. And the Publish to the Web screen is an option to embed. And this is a slideshow, so it lets you pick how often slides progress. Once the slideshow is started, it lets you also pick the size. It lets you pick small. And then it gives you an embed code. And again, all you need to do is copy the embed code go back to your Blogger blog post.
Sorry, Miss Sheila, turn away. Turn away, Miss Sheila. Turn away. You don't want to know the coding. I'm just kidding.
You can see I set this up. Then you ended up with your embedded slideshow right there, so people can watch that. And that is an alternative if you want to have a slideshow on your blog instead of just posting individual images.
That's really great because you can, yeah, I love that. I love that idea too, to be able to do that because it gives you an opportunity to, instead of sitting there just having a whole string of photos, you can have them all in the same place where you can scroll through, or they can kind of visually see. That's awesome. I love that.
And you know, you can use the presentation. You can set up your presentation so that there is text with each image. If you want to put a little description, you can do all kinds of things once you start doing it. So those are the basic options for enhancing your Blogger blog post. And I think if I say just go to blogger.com and give it a shot and see if it's something that you want to do. I think one of the nice things about having a blog instead of just using social media is there's a bit more permanence to your blog posts than there are to, say, your Facebook posts or your Google Plus posts, because those kind of, you scroll through them and they're kind of lost. You have a blog, it's sort of a more permanent place for your articles and your links and so forth.
And those of us that are on Google Plus, it's kind of like a collection, sort of. Is it not? In your opinion, sort of?
Well, I would say it's sort of the other way around.
Oh, collection's like a blog. Okay. Right, because it came out first.
Yeah, so I didn't talk about it, but Blogger lets you have labels for your posts. So you can essentially have a list of keywords, and then there's when you publish your blog post, it shows those labels. And if someone clicks a label like YouTube tips or whatever, then they will see all your posts with that label. So there are ways of organizing your posts. And so in a way, it's actually, I mean, it is more powerful than collections, I think, because, for example, you can control what order the posts are in on your blog. I mean, it's usually chronological order, but you can set whatever date you want for each of the blog posts. So you can control the order of the posts, and it just gives you more customization options than posting on Google Plus directly does.
Gotcha. Let me throw out a couple of these because we had some questions from earlier. So let me go to the top here. And this one is from Mark. And he says, that is so cool that you can draw a part of a symbol and it will search it for you. This was earlier. And like I said, I kind of gather my thoughts here and gathering everything all together. But that is kind of cool that you can do that.
It's very cool. And it's kind of fun too. Although, you know, the better you're able to draw, the better it will find a match. If you're terrible at drawing like me, then, you know, sometimes it doesn't work that well.
And then Miss Sheila says, this is so cool. Never knew Blogger was this easy and versatile.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's not as sexy as, you know, some of the new things that come out. Blogger's been around for years and years and years, but it's pretty solid and it's easy to use.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about it, is easy to use. Okay, Katie Body says, wondering how we can link Blogger and new Google sites, especially for the classroom. This is a great point for like teachers and stuff.
That is not something I am I know about. I see out in the audience is Miss Drasby, who is one of the other Blogger top contributors, and she uses Blogger in education. So if you can check her out, her blog out, let's see.
Great.
If you're out there, if you're out there, post a link to your blog with tips. But there are a lot of features that are meant to be good for education, and you can certainly use both Blogger and Google Sites for education and in the classroom.
Nice. Chris Gold. Glad to see you here, Chris. I'm glad you came out tonight. She does a lot with on the road stuff. She does a great thing. She's a top contributor and love seeing her out here. But anyway, Google Slides is a great option. Still requires a lot more work than the old Picasso web albums and slideshows.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But unfortunately, there's no equivalent change. The old Picasso web album slideshow option actually, I believe, used Flash, and Flash is kind of on its way out. So it would have had to have been updated or replaced by something. Anyway, I'm hoping that at some point Google does offer an easy slideshow option, but we just don't have one right now.
Right. Mark says, quick question. How does the slideshow look on mobile?
I think it should work fine on mobile. Let me show you quickly one of a link to. Sorry. Hey, if you go, I don't have it handy, but I do have. I don't have the link handy. I'll come back and post the link, but I do have a post that has an embedded slideshow, and you can take a look at it. As far as I know, it should work fine.
Okay.
Whereas Flash now, anything embedded using Flash is not going to play on most mobile devices, and that's one of the big disadvantages of using anything that's Flash. When you embed the YouTube videos, that is not actually using Flash. So if you had a Blogger blog from many years ago with embedded videos, you may want to re-embed the videos if you can, because the newer code works on mobile devices, whereas the old code may not.
Nice. That's good to know. And Mrs. Drasby, she puts on here, she did put on her, if you guys click that link, she does have her blog spot.
Yes,
there,
definitely check that out.
I know it goes off the screen when I show it, but I promise if you click on that link, it'll take you there so you can learn a little there. Very nice. Yeah, and Chris mentioned, she says, exactly, I understand, I still miss it.
So if you guys have any additional questions, you can post them here. You can ping me on Google Plus or post a comment on my blog or my YouTube channel, and I will see the comment.
There you go. And Miss Drasby says, thank you, Peggy, for the mention.
I'm always happy to mention other people who have great resources.
Well, and I love the top contributor program. It's one thing that's really neat is we do get to meet every once in a while, and that's a really cool experience because we get to meet each other and see what each other do. And I think that's really, we actually help each other. You know, it's not just helping, you know, people. We help each other. We have, you know, ask each other questions, and that's what's really cool about building this environment. And I suggest to anybody that can get involved in the forums at all to help out, because you really do meet some really, really cool people that really want to help people out. So,
I just wanted to point out, maybe you can bring up, Chris posted a link to a blog post with the slideshow embedded.
You got it. Here's a link to my site where I embedded a Google slideshow on the, and then it has the link there. Now you can't see it all on screen probably because it's way too long, but if you click that link, you should be able to get to that and use that. Good. Good.
All the experts here in the audience as well too, because there's so many things that we do, especially in the Google products, that are sort of cross-product, require expertise in multiple different products, that we all can kind of share our expertise with each other.
Yep. I love that. That's one thing that I really enjoy about that, because I actually learned a whole bunch about photos just sitting there. Somebody took my phone and he just started saying, hey, did you know you could do this? You could do that. I was like, no, wow, that's great. That's fantastic. So, I mean, so anything, whatever you're wanting to do and that kind of thing. I got to say, Peggy, I'm thinking about maybe starting a blog now, because I just didn't know what one was. I didn't know really, what it was.
Give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, I may do that. What about now? Let me ask you this: you can share your blog with anyone, right? I mean, like, can you go to Facebook and say, "Here's my blog," or here's the link to my blog, and things like that?
Absolutely. And one of the things you can do is if you're willing to spend a small amount of money, you can get a custom domain for your blog, which is yours, and use that as your personal link wherever you go. So
Interesting. So
yes,
you can actually, so it's like a website kind of. I mean, in that sense, really,
absolutely.
right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff you can do. And if you have any questions, you know who to ask.
There you go. Oh, this is very nice. This is very nice statement here too. This is Mrs. Drasby says, I also like learning from all the knowledgeable top contributor experts. You know what? And it's just people like you and I, Mrs. Drasby. I mean, that's what I like about it too, is because you're right. It is great learning from some of these other folks. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All the time. Thanks, Michael, and thanks, Peggy. You're so right, Thomas. Great presentation, Peggy. It is true that I can't use a custom domain and keep the HTTPS. That's what Chris said. Do you know about that, or what she's talking about?
Yes, that is correct. Currently, if you have a custom domain, you cannot set HTTPS. That's only for blogs that are using a blogspot URL right now. Hopefully that's something that Blogger will be updating soon, because Google really is pushing sites to
Emphasizing,
use
yes.
the more secure links.
Yes.
So I'm hoping soon that you can
that would be great.
use that
I
for
know
custom
I
domain
know that's real
blogs as
important
well.
for Google. It's real important for Google.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Heather Crafter likes to mention, she says, these TC chats are some of the best things I've seen in a while. Thank you very much. There we go. And Mark Barris is confirming. He says, the slideshow looks great on mobile, Chris. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, so I should say that in Blogger, the default is that there is a mobile template for your blog that should load well in a mobile browser. So that's all built into Blogger as well.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, this is kind of a neat little workaround that Chris puts up there. So what I do is own a custom domain and just redirect to the blogspot.com, so I keep the HTTPS.
Oh, that trick would work. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you own it. I mean, you have to own the domain. So yeah, but I think that's kind of cool actually. And then Tom's just verifying, so you can forward your own URL to their Blogspot post. Very cool. Good stuff. All right, folks, I think we're going to end it. Peggy K, thank you so very much for coming and doing this. I just love,
you're welcome.
Whenever you come and help out. It's I know I always mention this and I always make you turn red or whatever, but I was so ecstatic when I met you the first time at the summit. That was just such an awesome thing. I said, oh my God, I got to get a picture with Peggy K.
That did took me by surprise, because it's not like I'm a celebrity or anything.
Oh, you're a celebrity in my eyes. You are. So, oh, that's funny. So anyway, yeah, anybody that wants to learn some stuff, I mean, we have some top contributors that are out here. Like I said, Chris Gold, she's awesome with her on the go stuff that she does, and she always does stuff like that. Peggy K, you're awesome. Also, I've obviously Miss Drasby, who's also into Blogger. We have Andrew Hatchett, who's over Hangouts, and we have myself. I do Hangouts as far as a top contributor goes, but I really love these people because they give their time and effort, and they don't mind helping you out. Now, does that mean you sit there and just pester them with a bunch of stuff? No, but just it's the occasional question, and you want to find out something, and you're willing to wait 24 hours, because we do have a life outside of this.
Sometimes, anyway.
Sometimes we do, yes. I just think that these people are willing to help out, and I think that's the huge thing. So, yeah, there you go. On Blogger, can you access it from mobile? The problem I have is it's not easy to get my blog from mobile, and that is from Luan. Lawan. I think you can get it on mobile, right?
So if you're talking about composing a blog post, Blogger's mobile interface is not that great.
Okay, I got you.
And so what I usually do if I want to write something on a mobile device is I actually use Google Docs, because you can even use that when you're offline on your phone. And I write it all up, and then I copy and paste the text into a blog post. So that's how I do it.
I got you. It's kind of a, it's a workaround, basically. I mean, it's a workaround.
It is a workaround. It is a workaround.
But sometimes
ideally,
it's not exactly the way you'd want to set it up, ideally, but it does work, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you again, Peggy K. Folks, thank you for joining us. If you want to ask any other questions, Peggy will come back. I will make sure she gets the messages and stuff like that. And a lot of nice comments out there from people too.
Yeah, it's great discussion.
Yep. And
thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. And I hope you will do it again. with something. I don't know what yet, but with something. I hope you'll come back and help me out, because you do quite a few things when it comes to Top Contributor Program. But you've been around for a while with all of the different forums and stuff, haven't you? You've been around quite a bit. I mean, well, I don't mean it that way. I mean like when Hangouts came out, you got involved with that. When Google Plus came out, you got involved with that. So that's all I mean, is that you just took on and took it and ran with it and answered a lot of questions. And people, they said, we got to make her a top contributor. All right, I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you, folks, for coming. We will talk to you soon. And Peggy, I will chat with you in a second and just in the green room, and then we'll be on our way. But thanks, folks. Thanks again for coming, and look for us, I believe, next Wednesday or maybe the Wednesday after that. Just keep an eye on. I have the community where I have all that information, and I can put that in here, the link to the community, so that way you guys not community. I'm sorry, collection. I always get those confused, but I'll have the link to the collection so you can come in and join other Top Contributor events, and also you can come back anytime and see old ones. The old ones are in there. Here is the D+ collection, and I will paste that in there so that way you guys have it. Now you have the collection. You guys can come back. So when you're done watching this, you can click on that and go see other ones. Thank you again, Peggy. I will talk to everybody soon.
Thanks.
You bet. Have a good night.